From the city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lew got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lew, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lew, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lew right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. Braxton. April 5th, episode 35, Woody Lew, Sports and You, Easter Extravaganza. Happy Easter to you and yours.
Happy Easter. He is risen.
He is risen.
I'm so happy we're back. I said it, last week we were non-committal on a show this week, and you texted me yesterday and said that you'd be good to go tonight if I was. And I said, us going, we've gone head to head against Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. We haven't got twice. So of course, why wouldn't we go head to head with the resurrection of Jesus? We'll just we'll play any away game we can.
Yeah, he's risen. I think we're in the clear. He is risen. Good Friday, Easter Vigil Saturday, and Easter Mass and festivities today.
Yeah, you can't beat it. It's the best. I think it's the best time of the year, best time for reflection, remembrance, and recommitment if you found yourself straying and want to come closer. So awesome time of the year. Outside of the amazing religious aspect, it also is kind of the turn of the season for most people, looking full on to spring as the sun is out. We even got some spring showers down here in coastal Georgia today. So we're in full form, and we're running 100 miles per hour, at least in the Lewis household.
I love it. Yeah, so I want to hear about your Easter. There was something brought up about brackets. Before we get into that, I want to share a little bit about my Easter. I had a great brunch with some friends here in Nashville. I have a question for you because I got absolutely ridiculed for this. You're familiar with the field day game of egg toss, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, apparently this is not something that is part of SEC football Saturday traditions. Did you ever do an egg toss at a tailgate?
No.
Okay, so you're consistent with my friends here in Nashville that are SEC fandom. But at Notre Dame, I was like, no, we always did an egg toss. Like what? You did an egg toss at a tailgate? Yeah, all the time. So at least at Notre Dame, we would do kegs and eggs. We get up at 6:30, start parking the cars, getting the griddle with the eggs, the sausage, the breakfast sandwiches, and someone would go to Sam's Club and get those 48 count trays of eggs. Multiple. Right. So there was a ton of eggs. So there's always leftovers. So no one want to take those eggs like home with them. So we would do an egg toss. Like whoever was there, usually there was a field nearby, and we do an all tailgate egg toss.
Yeah. What I think I find most interesting is you. It sounds like a very like organic way the egg toss came about for you guys. It was obviously an
Hmm.
output of over buying eggs for the food that you're partaking in for a noon kickoff, and then it turned into egg toss in order to give the eggs a rightful use and not be
Yes,
wasted.
sure.
But I do find it to be a stretch that you believe that that very like specific thing made its way throughout the rest of not only like college football, but all individuals tailgates at egg tosses were
I thought it was just like a traditional like tailgate game, like what's it called? Bags, cornhole, ladder ball.
cornhole. That's
Um,
normal.
that's
Normal.
normal. Beer
Yeah, that's
pong,
fair.
egg
Fair.
toss.
No.
So I bring that up because we were talking about this last night when we were watching the Final Four games, and there's like, "What do you like? What?" And I was like, "Yeah, an egg toss." So got the idea of we're gonna do it today for Easter. We had the egg games, so did an egg toss, did a like a relay race with the spoon when you carry the egg on the spoon. So I announcing for the first time today to a broader audience that I am the egg king of Nashville. I won all the events.
Well, you had no option but to be the egg king after bringing up the egg events that you partook in. So I'm glad that you won, and congratulations, Dan.
Yeah, self-titled egg king.
It reminds me of in college, we had a buddy who was from Vermont, and we were in Charleston, South Carolina. We went to a friend's house where we were drinking Natty Light and beers like that. And he very confidently and very curiously stated to the persons whose house we were at, "Do you have any Canadian beer?" And the way he said it was as if like we were the ones who were crazy for not
For
maintaining.
not having, yeah, your Molson, Labatt Blue, like those are good beers.
We're not having like Moosehead Lager on tap in the kitchen in Charleston. We were the odd ones out. And he said, "Well, in Vermont, that's what we drink." And we're far away from Vermont as we were in South Carolina. So, no, we did not do that. But that's just another example of people from the north coming down to the south and trying to whitewash everything they get their hands on. So,
The egg toss was a huge hit at Easter. It was the egg games were very, very fun.
no, I'm sure they were. And we had an FRG event, and they were trying to get soldiers to come, and the only thing they had planned for the battalion was an Easter egg hunt. And I raised the question of, is there going to be anything else for grown people to do? And they said, "We're considering an egg toss." And I thought that was a fair response. They didn't do it, but I did think at the time like an egg toss would be a fair adult, fun egg
Yeah,
game and being festive in the season.
they're fun. The most memorable egg toss I was a part of, I went to Notre Dame played at University of Texas, Labor Day weekend 2016. That was the hottest I think I've ever been in my entire life in Austin, Labor Day weekend. I had an egg toss there. I got egg all over my shirt. It proceeded to cook, and I smelled like just disgusting egg for the rest of that Saturday. Not my finest moment nor finest egg toss.
That's when you go to the team store and become a Texas fan for the day.
I
You
don't look
fly
good.
out.
I don't think I look good in burnt orange.
I think a lot of people look very good in burnt orange. I think that's a color that you could pull off.
Kelly green for me.
Fair enough.
So I want to hear about. I don't know if it was today but you mentioned a bracket, and you're looking for Judge Woody to make a ruling.
Yeah. So this happened a couple of days ago. It happened before the Final Four games were played. Actually, I think it happened in the midst of the Elite Eight games like being played.
So like Thursday, Friday, got it.
Um, so before March Madness started, like a day before the game, the first round of 64 games were played, I had a My dad's buddy just sent me a link to a college basketball bracket challenge
Okay.
for
Like
CBS.
ESPN?
It's CBS, but yeah, same thing. So I click on it. It just says like join the bracket. I look to see, what's what. It said unlimited brackets were allowed. There's people who had like 25 brackets, and I think the guy who won had like 30 brackets he made for this challenge. I was just like, you know what? I haven't made a bracket this year. I'll just go ahead and fill out one bracket for this thing. Just not even trying to win it, just whatever. So I filled it out. No issues. Haven't checked it since I filled it out. I get a text, like, I don't know, around Wednesday last week, and it was just a Venmo request for $10 for my bracket. To which I did not respond, and I told Kaylee and I told my parents, because they're going to be seeing him in a couple weeks, that I refuse to spend the $10 on the bracket since the terms and conditions of the tournament challenge were not established when the link was sent. I also I don't have this like as a founded fact or not. I'm curious, was it $10 per bracket or was it $10 to enter? Because that also begs the question of why am I spending?
It was probably 10 per.
That also, it's okay. So when I logged in, now I only filled out one. So I will be fair and say that this is all over $10. But what if I would have filled out 25 brackets like the other people? Would I
be charged $250?
Would I be expected to pay the $250? And so my point was the fact I've never, as a commissioner myself, I'm a commissioner of a fantasy football league.
Yes.
I would never say, hey, join my fantasy football league, not mention a dues paid, and then in the final four of the playoffs start asking Venmo requests for dues.
Okay. So I have a few questions here. This is an interesting issue you've presented to the court. So let me get some clarification.
Yes.
Did your father, he forwarded you the link?
I will pull up correspondence. I would like to enter our text correspondence into Discovery, Your Honor.
Yes.
On
Proceed.
Monday, March 16th at 3:06 p.m., I get a link to the CBS Sports men's bracket games. It was just a link, no words, no, hey man, how are you? It was just a link to the filling out of the bracket group. The next text I received is on Wednesday of last week at 12:33, and it's a screenshot of a Venmo QR code, and the text reads, $10 bracket.
All right, say that one more time.
I received a text on Monday, March 16th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
And the text is just a link to click on to join the bracket group.
Okay. And who sent you that?
My dad's friend, the owner of the league.
Oh, so you went direct. Okay.
So the owner of the league sent me the link. I didn't ask for it. He sent me the link. I click on the link, put out the bracket. On the bracket thing on the website, it said unlimited brackets allowed. There was no notes about payment. The next text I received from him was this past Wednesday, and it's a screenshot of a Venmo QR code, and it just says $10 bracket. That's
okay.
it.
Now, I'm guessing there probably wasn't any information on like when you went to create brackets on CBS, because people don't want CBS to it's income as far as like if there's a fee or whatever. So there probably wasn't any fine print, right? When you were doing the
there was no fine print, and I did specifically check for fine print.
Okay. So where my head was going was that this was a message communicated through your father, and he might have had the full details and did not communicate to you. And what I would say in that case is that you could implead him to cover your damages. So the Mad Hatter would be on the hook for omitting to tell you the full terms of entrance into this contest. But that's not the case. It was direct between you and the host of the contest for the link to create brackets.
Correct. The host sent me the link to the bracket. Now,
I will
this
ask,
is
have you, like, what's the custom or practice? Have you been a part of this in the past?
first time.
Okay.
He has never invited me to a bracket pool before. He's essentially like he would be like my Uncle Dan, if that makes sense. He is my dad's best friend,
Yes.
who I have obviously interacted with. We have gone on joint family vacations in the past. Like, wrote me a check for graduating college. Like, very familiar, close family friend.
Okay. So have you been familiar with this annual, is it an annual bracket contest that he hosts?
First I've ever found out about it.
Okay. I say you probably got a tough case here because I think it is, common practice and custom, that these brackets, people aren't just, submitting brackets for nothing. So an expectation of some cost. Um, so I think he's got that in his favor. However, I think that, not being fully aware of the terms of the contest, that it would basically be a wash. So you would not, your brackets would be null and void, no cost, but you would not be able to reap any benefit if you were to win. That'd be your choice.
Okay, does the court care that if I would have won, say I won this challenge, right?
Yes.
As I was filling out this bracket, the idea of me winning and gaining money for winning this challenge never crossed my mind, nor did I ever consider that I was filling this bracket out for monetary gain.
Then
That's just me trying to create the case for how much I did not anticipate, considering the fact that if something was for money, i.e.,
counsel, I would say that's an unreasonable argument to make when it comes to bracket challenges. So
I have never invited someone to a fantasy football league or been invited to a fantasy football league that did not say, "Hey, join our fantasy football league if you'd like. It's a $50 buy-in. First place gets 75%. Second place gets 25%. Third place gets money back."
Yeah, and I would say that was negligent on his part. So I think it's a wash is probably the ruling of this court. It's basically it never happened. You gotta provide the terms, but I will say that customs and traditions of bracket challenges are not in your favor, Braxton.
Does this help my case at all? Also, the person who won made 14 brackets. Okay. Now, with that being said, he came in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, ninth place. So of the top 10, he did come into 9 of the top 10 places.
It's pretty impressive. He did pretty well. He must have submitted like the same bracket. It's pretty good.
His lowest placing bracket came in 29th out of 101 brackets submitted.
It's pretty good.
Which I guess that's me defending the fact that he would have won, or he would have reasonably came in. I think it's safe to say, regardless of the amount of brackets he made by percentage, it was safe to assume he would have came in the top 3, given those. Especially with the condensing of all those in the top 10, meaning he's already leaning a certain way with his bracket selections. However, regardless of how many he made, I really don't want to spend the $10. I don't feel like that's fair.
We have some chatter from potentially an impleted third party, one Christopher Lewis, the Mad Hatter. He is saying that he did not enter this bracket. He's asking, is there any precedent for assumption in law? And now he's objecting. I'm sure he's objecting to my assumption that he was potentially not communicating full information to you as the intermediary for this contest.
Okay, Dan, let me ask you another question.
Yes, counsel.
It's springtime. Grass is growing, right?
Sure.
What if you were my neighbor?
Yes.
And I went to your house. I put my lawnmower on your front porch.
Mm-hmm.
And I put a note on the lawnmower that just said my name. So you received a lawnmower from me.
Mm-hmm.
in which you then noticed your grass in the backyard. It's springtime. Braxton, my good buddy, has left me a lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that he is providing this to me to mow my lawn. You mow your lawn. And then 3 weeks later, I send you a Venmo request for use of the lawnmower.
Yeah, it's different. you're
How is that different?
It's
How is that-
completely different.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's loaning of that's loaning of a service, whereas the situation you're in is a contest for the gain of money. Purely
I would
the
say
gain
he
of money.
loaned me the opportunity to fill out a bracket with friends.
That's unreasonable, counsel. Next.
Oh my! So how do you rule?
I rule that the contest holder was negligent in sending you a link without giving you the full terms of the contest. Therefore, your bracket at your choosing is nullified. That's my ruling.
In plain English, no, I do not have to pay the $10, and I'd be justified.
In plain English, yes.
Okay, thank you for the fair ruling, Your Honor. I appreciate you seeing it my way.
What were the other? I'm curious. It seems like everyone was against you, according to you.
Well, my parents were just like, "Do you want us to give them the $10 when we see him?" I'm like, "No, it's not about the $10. I got the $10. It's about the principle of the $10." And I told my mom, I said, "You better not give him the $10 from me because I don't."
Well, she's in the chat right now, and she's saying she won her bracket. There you go, Miss Amy Lewis, and she's gonna use her winnings to spot the $10.
Yeah, I don't want you to spot the $10. It's not. It makes me mad. I'm not doing it.
It makes me mad.
You know what? I'm going to invite Eric into our fantasy football league this year, and then I'm going to say dues are $1,000 and just send him a Venmo. He'd be able to pay it, but
you got a favorable ruling from this court, Braxton. What more do you want?
No, I appreciate it. So that was a big point of conversation at Easter dinner. Another thing that I did, Dan, I do want to share, because you haven't done this in your 37 years of life, and I haven't done it until the late 28th year of my life, was I went and procured a new truck on Friday.
You got a new truck? I like your Dodge.
Well, the Dodge has been gone, Dan. I got rid of that for the van. I've been driving the Santa Fe. But not the car purchasing part that you haven't done. It's I took Elliot and Ronnie Bell with me on the 3-hour trip there, or 6-hour round trip to go pick up this truck.
Oh boy.
And if you know how signing the paperwork goes with the man in the back.
Yep.
Have you ever one of my sweet little angels had to go use the restroom in the middle of signing of the papers and me asking the man in the back all these important questions about the paper.
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
And so I took him to Chick-fil-A that morning, and we sat down inside. And then after we go to the dealership, they were a little too handsy with the Corvette parked in the showroom. I was getting very nervous. But we get the truck, and then I take her to Buffalo Wild Wings, which was a big hit, by the way.
You guys had a great day.
Well, we're about an hour and a half out. And we do Friday Daddy Date night. So they know Fridays is like a daddy date. So I've taken them to Chick-fil-A, Buffalo Wild Wings, and procured this new vehicle with them. And we're about an hour from home. It's like 5 o'clock in the evening. And my daughters say, "What are we going to do for Daddy Date tonight?" And I'm starting to think I may be raising some little princess monsters.
What are we doing for Daddy Date? What was your response?
I said, "Baby, we'll go to," and they said they wanted to go back to Buffalo's. That's what it's been
Buffalo's.
And I said, "Baby, we'll go back. We'll go next Friday." And I bought myself some time, but I have a bad feeling their boyfriends are going to have difficulty maintaining this unrealistic standard that I have set very young in their age.
You said that they were like already looking at a Corvette at the dealership. So yes, I think that their boyfriends are gonna hopefully they're not just randomly entering bracket challenges, not knowing to have to pay $10.
I mean, if they came to me with this situation, I would tell them they would be ridiculous to pay the $10, considering the terms that were not established as ruled on by their Uncle Dan.
That's right. The
And you
honorable.
know, Uncle Dan, I'll tell you this, Uncle Dan, I would not be happy with you if you ever sent one of your nieces a link to a bracket and then demanded money from them 3 weeks later.
I would not take kindly to that. No, I would not.
Man.
You're getting from Miss Patsy. Hi, Miss Patsy. Happy Easter. You are a wonderful girl dad. That's directed at you, Braxton.
That is me. I love being a girl dad, and I love those little girls. And I'm a boy dad now, and I'm a little harder on him. I think I kissed him on the forehead for the first time today after 2 weeks of ownership.
He was a good boy.
He was being a good boy at that exact moment, and I decided to provide some love for him.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anything we're a sports podcast, not a legal podcast. I noticed we went through the Honorable Woody court show, the Egg King of Nashville. We have to talk at least briefly the men's national basketball championship game, Final Four. I'm repping. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
You.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know what just happened there. My audio went out. But repping UConn Huskies, my dad's alma mater, Dan Hurley. Don't like him, but go UConn.
Yeah, UConn, Michigan national championship.
That's right.
I couldn't think of two schools I want to win less, and if UConn wins, that'll be their 7th since 1999.
Is it 6th or 7th?
7th. It's their 7th.
So 99, 2004, 2011, 2014, and then 23 and 20. Yeah, it'll be their 7th.
It'll be their 7th. They've only been to 8 Final Fours, and they've counting now, they've been to 8 Final Fours. They've won 6, so they might go 7 for 8, which is just a crazy stat, and that would put them above the likes of Duke and North Carolina, and Kansas.
How many does Kentucky have?
8. So they are grossly knocking on the door, and I would argue they're in a much better position in the next 5 years of surpassing us. So it makes me. Danny Hurley's gonna
never lost a championship game.
Yeah, it's not. There's the first time, and then we got Michigan, which I can't think of a more insufferable fan base than Michigan.
That's right. I agree.
I know people who are Michigan fans for football, Kentucky for basketball, people who are just Michigan men like Dave Portnoy. It's just they're insufferable. And now and the school does it to themselves, right? Like they had the Sharon Moore stuff happen, and now if you kept up with their off-season hirings on Instagram, they're hiring attractive females for top-notch spots of which were previously held by men, and it's almost like they're doing it. It's like they're pranking themselves, but it's just the irony. It's just the way they handle stuff at Michigan. I'm out on it, and I despise Ohio State, but I think I might be a Ohio State lean when it comes to that rivalry, just because of my disdain for Michigan.
Yeah, I don't really like either of those teams because of just how they've embarrassed Notre Dame in the recent past in football. One thing I did watch, I think it was the Elite 8 game. It was the Fab 5 alt view. So you know how there's the Manning cast for Monday Night Football? They had a Fab 5 view, which was kind of crazy. It was the Brady Bunch with 6 people around the screen. And I think they've jumped the shark, the Fab 5. I can't stand Jalen Rose. I think Chris Webber's pretty annoying. The 2 other guys that aren't Juwan Howard, I can't even remember their names. They didn't really say much just because, Jalen Rose wouldn't shut up. So I'm out on Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a national championship that I do not watch a single second of. My mom asked yesterday what time the game came on, to which I told her 7:10 because at the time the Braves and Diamondbacks game, and she definitely meant basketball. But that's where we're at.
Do you want to make a prediction?
UConn. I mean, I'm not going to, but you can't. At this point, smart money goes to Danny Hurley, even though I do think Michigan looks like a better ball club.
Yeah, I think UConn's gonna pull one out again. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be like a fun finish, kind of like their upset over Duke in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just this stupid dog is just having an aneurysm right now. I don't know.
Oh, smoke.
I don't know if there's ghosts. Yeah, Danny Hurley. He's a psychopath, right? He gets him going, and his wife doesn't want to leave. No one wants to leave. They don't want to leave Sturgis or wherever it is. We need to get him like a head coaching gig for like the Knicks or the Nets or something to get him out of there.
So, quick pivot from basketball because I'm done talking about the basketball tournament. I'm a fraud. Talking NCAA basketball because I didn't really watch much at all this year. So we're going to pivot to the homework assignment that we agreed on from last episode. In place of Taylor Frankie Paul's Bachelorette season, we decided to start watching Age of Attraction. So I'm going to let you start off, Braxton, because you started watching the show and you gave me the homework assignment.
What a ridiculous show it is. You have all these singles in a beautiful part of Canada, and they're all doing their dates. And, you know, once they've committed to each other, they get to go to the promise room. They get to put their promise rings on each other's right hands, not their left, because it's just a promise on engagement. And essentially that sets the stage for the second half of the show, where they go to, I'm assuming, the closest city to where they were in Canada, and they live in apartments for X amount of time, where they'll ultimately end up meeting each other's friends and families, which will make for great television, so on and so forth. Now, a couple things that I learned through watching. I'm not finished, but to the point where I'm watching it, I think this is where you're at as well. They only end up taking the 6 highest age gaps for continued filming at the apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at the end, before they go to the next segment of the show, where they go to the apartments, you get to see very short interactions of people who, the 42-year-old and the 40-year-old and the 37 and the 32-year-old, the, you know, socially acceptable age gap people promise to each other. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they did not get the, you know, per diem and all-inclusive apartment for the next month or however long the filming they had. So that raised some concerns for me, Dan, because now what I want to know before we start dissecting these relationships is, did the singles understand in their contract that the top 6 age gaps moved on to this continued filming role, or was that a surprise to them?
That's a good question.
Because I think if they knew that this top 6 age gaps would have the opportunity to continue filming and really just continue on with the show, that might have influenced some early commitments and love commitments based on you know, common sense understanding that this person is substantially older than I am.
Yeah, that's a good point. It sounds like, at least like from the show and like the production, like the edit and the cut, it seemed like they weren't like blindsided when they all came in at the beginning, and it was like that speed dating. Like they knew that it was going to be like an age blind experience. So, I mean, I don't think the show had to like, they probably, you know, in those contracts, tell them explicitly that we're only going to follow like, you know, X amount of people, and it's if you have like an age gap type thing. But interesting, because you find, you know, if they did know the people that are chasing clout and views and follows versus people that were there, to use a cliche term from the Bachelor universe, the right reasons.
Yeah. And you know, what are the right reasons when you decide to go to the casting call for these things and then show up and
It's pretty cynical there, Braxton. You don't think love can be found on a reality TV show?
I think if we broke down the full statistics on what love has been found on these TV shows that have lasted, it's a much smaller population than those who have attended these shows.
I think you're probably right. If I were to give a note to the production team of Age of Attraction, they got to change the Promise Room, like that branding, like that didn't work for me. It was weird. It was weird.
You don't like?
No, the
Well,
promise.
let's
I like the premise of like, it's like, hey, we want to find out each other's ages, and it's like if we do that, we're either together or like we're done. Like I didn't understand that either. Like, and this is spoilers, warning, spoilers if you haven't watched it. But I remember the couple West and Jolie decided they did the Promise Room, and then they decided not to like leave the Promise Room. So was he just like they? In my opinion, they should just be done. Like you're out. Like you're not going back into the dating pool. Like because you know each other's ages. Like it's get out of here.
Yeah, and that's a question I've had. I spoke to my parents about it. Did they go back to the pool? And here's the thing I'd said. I think this is what I told my mom was, in my opinion. So Tyler and Beatrice, or the woman that he gets with in the very first episode, the 27 and 54-year-old. Her name's not Beatrice. I just used the stereotypical older name. They obviously promise in the first episode, but you see them in future episodes still in the resort. To which I've kind of surmised in my mind that the Promise Room scenes, I believe, were all filmed in like a same 48-hour period, like the last 2 days of filming at that location. Because, and again, just from a common sense standpoint, if I know that I'm at this resort for 7 days, what if I find my person on day one? What do I really gain by leaving this awesome resort 6 days early? It would make more sense just to say, hey, like, you want to promise? And like, yeah, I want to promise. Like, all right, let's enjoy this vacation until promise day or whatever.
It's a good point, and I bet you're probably right, because I was having the breakout stars of this, like John and Teresa. It made it seem like they were there for like a cup of coffee and then went to the Promise Room together.
Right. That's why I think, they had this resort booked out, and then like there's probably time slots for like, all right, John, if this is when you want to go, like this is when you got to go, big boy. And because you're right, like there's no incentive. Hold on, we're gonna have a special guest right here for one
Okay. Oh, Smoke making his first appearance on Woody Lew Sports and You. Oh, he loves you so much.
All the licks.
Got peanut butter on you?
Hold on, I gotta get him down here. He's clinging onto the chair. All right, mommy's gone. Sorry about that. That's not gonna be good listening for the Spotify viewers. I don't know what I was saying.
Talking Age of Attraction, and
John and Teresa. Yeah, so I think the Promise Room had to be an end of filming at the resort type thing. The only thing that makes sense. And I'm kind of scattered here, but you brought up West and what was her name? Jolene?
Correct. Jolene.
She agreed to go with him to the Promise Room, and I found it odd that her sole reason for not being with him was because of the age gap.
Yes.
Which, again, I feel like it's a big part of the show and why they were there. And if you're going to – and she said his maturity, but I didn't think he was necessarily immature for a 30-year-old man.
No, I didn't think he was immature. He was, I would say, very flirty, and, like, I think, like, probably physical touch was his love language.
I thought he was just a calm, collected kid.
He was confident. Bordering on cocky. Good looking dude.
I didn't get the cocky, Dan. I thought maybe the world just moved a little slower for West.
Okay.
But this is not my dodo of the week, but it definitely could be.
I love it. We're foreshadowing dodos.
what was her name? Yanessa or Juliet.
From what did she do?
She chose the attorney. Yanessa.
Vanessa.
Vanell. Her name's
Vanell.
Vanell.
Gotcha.
Vanell.
Yes, the 33-year age gap.
The 33-year-old with the 60-year-old.
Correct.
And Yanell was like, I thought this guy was 40. And I've never seen a man more clearly over the age of 55 in my life.
I don't know about over 55, but he was late 40s.
Daniel, there was never a moment where I was like, that guy has a 4 in front of his age. Never a moment.
Okay.
And then, they're in the promise room. She's talking about kids and being celibate. And he's like, okay, I hear you. And talking about, yeah, I don't want to have baby mamas. He's got baby mamas. Didn't even disclose that he had children. The poor girl. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think that's been disclosed yet.
Next episode you'll watch,
Okay.
you'll see Yanessa.
Vanell.
Vanell. You'll see Vanell. Sorry, it's been a long day. You'll see Vanell be blindsided and made like a fool for not knowing that he had children.
It's good television, but that sucks for her for sure. And she's probably regretting not going with Justin S., the healthcare
Charleston.
AI director from Charleston. He was just a very pleasant gentleman.
He was very pleasant, and I feel like healthcare AI and living in Charleston is a combination that that young lady, I don't want to say her name wrong again, would have thoroughly been happy with.
Yeah. He was 44, so that would have been a 17-year age gap. Not crazy.
Is she 20? Oh, she's 27.
27.
Well, I think I told Kaylee, like, even if she would have chose him, like, I don't know, 27 he seemed, I don't know, that if you would have saw them in public, you wouldn't have been like, oh my gosh, she's with her dad, if that makes sense. Like,
oh yeah.
And
I mean, he easily he could pass for her father.
And I didn't think Justin could.
No, sorry. Jorge could. Justin could not.
Jorge could pass as her grandfather. Yes. Justin, if I would have saw Justin and her out, at Shem Creek, I wouldn't have really thought much about it at all.
Yeah, Kaylee's saying that she knows that he was the oldest person there, that Jorge was the oldest person there.
Obvious.
I see you, Trooper Mac. We're gonna get back to your comments. I appreciate you being here, episode 35, live. And I'm getting a question from Miss Amy Lewis. Dan, do you watch Summer House? Miss Amy Lewis, the answer to that is yes. However, I am not caught up. It's been a few seasons since I've watched, but I'm tracking what's going on with a cast member by the name of West in that show, and with probably the most insufferable human on the planet in Amanda Batula, and they are together. So I know what's going on in this Bravo universe, Miss Amy Lewis.
Dan, you're an onion with just layers and just keep peeling back on this show. That's awesome. No, but Age of Attraction, I think by next time we do the show, Dan, we both need to make it through the family meetups.
Okay. What episode is that?
I haven't got there yet, so I'll let you know. Okay. I think we're on episode like 4.5. So I think
I'm on 3. I'm on 3.
Yeah. So we might be on 4.5. I don't know. We haven't met to the families yet, but I'm very excited.
Wait for the Teresa and John family with her 29-year-old son that is older than her 27-year-old boyfriend.
Yeah, she picked a gentleman who is 2 years younger than her oldest son, which is, I think, grotesque. But
I wouldn't go that far.
You don't think?
No, it's just like it's a choice. It's a choice, and it's a big age gap.
Can I say something that
they're not grotesque? They're too like she's an attractive, very attractive 54-year-old woman.
What I would say to you, Dan, is once you have kids, your mind will shift on that.
Yeah, I'm sure her kids aren't going to be thrilled about that one.
Well, what I'm saying is I couldn't imagine a world where Kaylee decided to divorce me, because I would obviously never leave her. And I decided to get back into dating, and the girl I decide on is 2 years younger than my oldest daughter. I couldn't
Yeah.
fathom that. That would
No.
be my dog's gonna get electrocuted live on air as he chews the wires.
Oh, please don't. No, can't have that happen.
I mean, I've had this computer charger since it was bought in 2014, so I don't think its ability to withstand puppy bites is high. But as he goes to the power conversion box on the Mac charger, we don't know what we'll have out of that.
You ever seen what movie was that? Christmas Vacation when the dog goes under the tree.
Yes.
That's not going to happen to Smoke.
He's playing the piano right now with his nose. If you just heard that.
Yeah, did hear that. You got a Mozart dog.
He can open the doors, the back door and the front door.
It's like a Velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
Yesterday, he was in the backyard, and next thing we know, he was opening the front door. So he had escaped the backyard and made himself into the front door.
Smart dog.
That's a word.
Yep.
Evil genius.
Yeah. We're getting a little off topic. There is, I believe that you told me to pay special attention to a certain cast member on Age of Attraction, and I figured out very quickly who that was. So we got to talk Andrew and Libby.
Oh, Andrew and Libby. I think Andrew's a good dude. He has a 14-year-old daughter. I think he was 38, Dan. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Yep. 38-year-old bar owner in Baltimore, Maryland.
And he goes with the 22-year-old Libby from Los Angeles. I believe she's in the West Coast.
San Diego.
Yeah. So was I right in saying, Dan, seeing her on TV just like shows you how immature, even if they are mature, a 22-year-old girl is?
I'm just like, I mean, he said it too. Like, I actually appreciated like how much he leaned into like, he's like, this is what I do. I am a good-looking dad that owns a bar. I date young women.
Yeah, he was like, I came to this show because I always date young women, and I'm trying to make a change and like maybe something more age appropriate or even older. And then like it shows him meeting Libby, and then he goes to the next interview and he's like, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, I can't get it out of my system.
Yeah, he's got a type. I just don't like. I don't know what they talk about.
No, TikTok trends, Summer House. There's really no telling what they talk about. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I mean, I bet
her job is social media manager. I don't know what that means. We could probably use one for Woody, Lew, Sports and You. So Libby, if you're tuning in, we could probably can't afford you, but we could use a social media manager.
And we won't ask you to relocate if he is adding pressure for you to relocate. We will take you in the Pacific time zone in San Diego, and we won't say a word about it.
Yeah, we're already operating across time zones. We offer full remote at no pay.
We would find a small fixed rate based off viewership gain.
All the merch you want.
All the merch you want. We know the people at Vistaprint, and we will make sure that Dad saved his login so we can make sure the logos are the same on the next order, and we'll be good to
go. Yeah. So no, she was interesting, Libby. But no, yeah, very young. Andrew, I love him. He's just, this is what I do. He was true to himself. Why not? Like, great looking guy. Obviously, like, he's got 2 daughters, so he's successful. He's got his stuff together. Good for him. Good for Andrew.
Awesome self-awareness. I was happy for him.
Yeah. So I do want to get back into the chat. Miss Amy Lewis, we can definitely talk Summer House. But Trooper Mac, he concurs that Michigan can kick rocks, and he says that Portnoy makes sports not fun.
I don't think that's Trooper Mac, Dan. I think that's Mason McGregor in the chat. If I'm seeing it correctly.
I'm mixing up my Macs. That's Mason McGregor. I apologize. Hand up. I apologize.
And what did Mason say?
He is saying that Michigan can kick rocks, and that
Yes.
Dave
He's
Portnoy,
Ohio State.
Barstool Sports founder, makes sports not fun.
Yeah, and Mason, I think he does have a little Ohio State in him. He has some Ohio roots, so I think that has to be disclosed. But I fully agree with his sentiment and his comment, and I appreciate him providing some chatter in the chat.
Yeah, I'm a Boston guy. Like I grew up with when Barstool. I remember getting it paper, like a paper printout at the T station at Alewife. So I would say I'm a Dave Portnoy stan. I think some of the stuff the morning show is pretty insufferable. I don't like Barstool Morning or Wake Up Barstool, whatever that's called. But I did love the Internet Invitational. I thought that was fantastic, and they've released some like individual matches from that on the their YouTube channel. And the other day, I watched the matchup between it was John Gruden and Brad Dalkey,
Oh
the
yes,
ultimate winner, and it was so funny. And Gruden just needling Portnoy. He's like, "You got me going up against a guy that played in the Masters. Like, what the hell, Dave?"
yeah,
So
Gruden's
funny.
great. And YouTube Golf had a pretty big bump. Had a pretty big bump this week. LeBron James was on the Bob Does Sports YouTube channel, and they played a round of golf with LeBron James.
I gotta
And
watch that.
I
How
don't
is
want to say
LeBron at golf?
I don't. He's a hack, but LeBron. I've never been. LeBron is trending so up in my book right now. It's not even funny.
He's showing like
LeBron took
more self-awareness.
LeBron took absolute haymakers at Memphis and Milwaukee, specifically Memphis, though, and said pretty much talked about how terrible of a city it is, how terrible the hotel is that they had to stay at, which has gained a lot of traction with a lot of NBA players across the league. And then he said, they just need to move to Nashville. He's like, people like Nashville. People
Yeah.
don't like Memphis. Just move to Nashville. He ends up getting pressed by this because the YouTube episode comes out, and then after the last game, he's getting interviewed, and they were like, "So LeBron," and this is always I'm not a political podcast. It's always funny though when certain parties eat themselves. He gets interviewed, and they say, "So LeBron, why do you hate Memphis, and why do you hate black people in Memphis?" And LeBron is sitting there, and he was like, "When did I say that?" And they're like,
Yeah.
and he was like, "No." He's like, "I'm 41 years old. I don't like staying at that janky Westin in Memphis. I don't like staying in Milwaukee. Hell, I don't even like going back to Cleveland." He's like, "And I'm from there." He was like, "What are we talking about?" He's like, "That doesn't mean I hate the people of Memphis or I hate the people of Milwaukee. I'm not attacking the people. I'm talking.
Don't like the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, I don't like dead rats in my hotel. It's pretty much what he's saying, and it was just funny. And you're right. Like he's getting old. He was saying some funny one-liners. He's like, I go to sleep active every night and I wake up probable. I loved that as someone going through ACL rehab. You just don't know what you're going to get in this age. And so LeBron's trending super up for me after his appearance on Bob Does Sports.
I gotta watch that. That'll be in my homework as well. I'm excited. You turned me on to Bob Does Sports. I was not a fan initially. But I think it was a combination of you being such a fan, and then they were good during the Internet Invitational.
Well, yeah, and I think what was kind of surprising, LeBron is LeBron. Well, regardless of your stance on LeBron versus Michael, like LeBron is LeBron.
Yeah.
That can't be overstated enough. Like this is LeBron James, and to see him, he completely let his hair down. Like I don't know if his like agent
Doesn't have
PR
any hair
manager,
left. So I had to get that one in there.
like his agent or PR manager were probably just like so upset, but he was just talking. Like it was, there could have been no. As a man who's had cameras on him since he was 16, like I'm sure cameras obviously don't bother him, but
yeah,
he was just talking shop with the boys, and it was pretty refreshing to see.
Yeah, I'm excited. So speaking of golf, what a great segue into the Masters. So it's Masters week, Braxton. Definitely, like for me, a true sign that spring is here. First major of the year on the whole week. I mean, it's so much fun in Augusta. I mean, the biggest storyline was obviously Rory finally, conquering the beast that was Augusta for him, a house of horrors, completing the career Grand Slam last year. What are you looking forward to this year at Augusta?
I'm looking forward to seeing, Scotty and his 9-day-old baby boy Ren, or I think not Ren, Remy,
I mean,
out out at the par three. I hate to be that guy, but Scotty's record with like proximity of his wife about to or post giving birth is pretty impeccable. So I think Scotty's like already like told his accountant that don't worry about a push present. Like push present's going to be another green jacket for the fam, and I think he's going to go out there and do something crazy.
yeah, I love watching Scotty play. He is the odds-on favorite to win. I'm hoping. I think I'd like to see. I think I'd like to see Bryson and Colin Morikawa as the final group on Sunday. I think that would be wicked fun.
You think Brooksy gets a push?
He always when he plays like in these majors, like and he's healthy, he always is competing.
I'm interested to see if, like, with him being a full time PGA guy again, maybe that weight's off his back and he feels a little more comfortable at Augusta. See if he can make things interesting. I think that'd be a very good storyline. Rory got his jacket; he can move on. I'm not even worried about Rory. I want to see Scotty. I want to see Brooks. I want to see
I
Bryson.
could see Rory going low too, like having that like gorilla off his back. I don't think we're gonna have a back-to-back winner, but I think Rory will be in the mix.
Tiger's not going to win it.
Nope. He won't be playing in it.
No. Do we have betting odds on what country he's going to for his rehab?
I can pull those up right now.
I
One
think a lot of
second.
people were thinking Saudi Arabia, but I think that might not be the destination it once was, given the current.
No, I'd say he's probably not going to the Middle East unless he's bringing his own private army, which he could afford.
Well, he also the guy who controls the army, as he was on the phone with the president during his investigation with the law enforcement.
That's right. Let's see. So he's definitely going at. I mean, I know the court lifted whatever restriction there was on traveling out of the country for rehab. So we're confident he's going to go out of the country.
Yes.
Okay. So producer ChatGPT isn't giving me those odds. I'm sure there's like a Kalshi thing. Let's see. Odds of where Tiger Woods is going to rehab.
I hope he gets healthy, and I hope he gets better. I think, maybe the most sobering thing for him will be watching that. I mean, he has already some crazy body cam, dash cam footage out there from previous arrests, but maybe this one will be the most eye-opening to him, as you could see through the progression of the video, him like the situation sort of like coming down on him with a little more clarity.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate this is, but Zurich, Switzerland is the odds-on favorite.
Been there, nice place.
I also want to talk about one of the coolest traditions in sports, the Champions Dinner at Augusta. Did you see Rory's the meal?
I did, and I thought it got a lot of hate. I don't think it was warranted.
I don't think it was warranted at all. This sounds absolutely delicious. Like the appetizers, we got peach and ricotta flatbread, pass. Rock shrimp tempura, that's a big go. Bacon wrapped dates. They were bacon wrapped scallops. I'd be more inclined, but bacon wrapped dates sound pretty good. Grilled elk sliders. Those sound delicious.
All the way on those.
Yeah. That seems like a big, like, part of like the Irish flair. First course, yellowfin tuna carpaccio. That sounds fantastic.
I'm in on that.
And you get a choice of Wagyu filet mignon or seared salmon. I would try to get both if I was there. A little surf and turf. And then dessert, sticky toffee pudding. That also sounds great.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people on Twitter kind of hating on it. I thought it sounded like a phenomenal meal that I wanted every part of.
Yeah.
Now,
What would maybe we'll do this next episode of what our
champions dinner
what
would
our
be?
champions dinner would be. I want to think about that.
Okay, I like that. That's a good segment.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we got homework, age of attraction, and our champions dinner.
Easy.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have on the ticker for
Close
this?
out with Dodo.
Oh, the dodo. That's right. Dodo bird of the week. Braxton, do you want to start, or do you want me to give my dodo?
I'll give you my Dodo. And this happened a couple weeks ago, but I don't think the story really hit me until recently. My Dodo is going to be Dayton Weber, the cornhole champion quadriplegic, who allegedly committed murder. Allegedly committed murder via firearm.
Yeah, I read that headline and I couldn't figure that one out.
There's been videos that have surfaced of him showing off shooting pistols with his amputated arms, which I'm sure is a prosecutor's dream to have that entered into evidence of him possessing the ability to commit said crime, even though it sounds ridiculous on headlines. There's also been videos of him having irate screaming matches with his former girlfriend, and not good for Dayton. And, it goes to show that no matter your circumstances, no matter the successes you have, you're always just one decision away from throwing all the good away and painting yourself in a very negative light. So, Dayton, I'm praying for you, and I hope that you find your way. But right now, things are not looking good in his connection to the murder of Bradrick Wells.
So I'm also gonna have to go homework and watch those videos, because I read that headline and I saw the picture of him playing cornhole, and I couldn't figure out how he could use a gun and then intentionally fire it at someone.
Yeah, just the way he throw the cornhole bag, same idea, just pistol, and he would,
I feel like you need like some fine motor. Like, it's one thing throwing a bag versus like the fine motor skill of like a trigger pull. How many pounds do you think that trigger pull was?
I mean, it can be modded.
Yeah,
they're not heavy these days, and I don't want to go too much more into it, but so that's my dodo of the week. But I want to be clear, because we're not a negative podcast. LeBron James is trending so far up on my stocks right now that he's my who's back of the week is definitely LeBron James.
That's good. That's a good one. My dodo, and this might be the start of a long reign as Woody's dodo bird of the week, and it is Red Sox president of baseball operations, one Craig Breslow, super nerd, former pitcher. The Red Sox stink. They stink. They're 2-9. Just can't put the ball in play. And hand up, I get excited every year, and I definitely got overexcited by the performance of some of the quote unquote Red Sox stars in the World Baseball Classic, Jarren Duran, Luis Abreu, Roman Anthony. But it's the not having that like bat that it was Bregman last season, Rafael Devers, who they got nothing for in that trade last season. We could really use that, and I'm forgetting the production that comes with a marquee power hitting bat, preferably a righty, giving Fenway Park's dimensions. And I'm listening a lot to the Baseball Hour, local radio show. Oh, Gigi makes an appearance. She also thinks that Craig Breslow is a dodo. I know that. I'm hearing these things about like Caleb Durbin, who they got from Milwaukee in a trade. Apparently, the plan was they saw something in him where if they could use so Red Sox own Driveline. If they could use Driveline to increase his bat speed, they could get him to go from whatever, like a 12, 14 home runs a year to like 25 plus home runs a year. So that confident in their ability to transform players. And they did the same thing with Connolly early. They said they saw in him that they could increase his velocity and that would lower his ERA whip by whatever models they're running. And, I think it's good, using data and predictive analytics, but like, it's the Red Sox. Like, why can't we just purchase known talent at market or above market rate?
What if I told you I have a right-handed third baseman and right fielder that I would trade you right now for anything?
Gigi finds that funny.
I have an Austin Riley and a Ronald Acuna Jr., of which I would trade you whatever you wanted for. The Braves lost 2 in a row for the first time all season, dropping 2 in a row to Diamondbacks, splitting the series at 2-2. Riley got benched today, and he's hitting a $140. And Acuna, who is hitting a staggering 170, he got pulled from right field and was DH today. And he is the worst leadoff batter in baseball.
And I was encouraged. Like, I was like, okay, they won the opener, Cincinnati, 3-0. I thought that was kind of going to be like the Red Sox this year. Like, they brought in the stable of pitchers, and it's going to be low scoring games, small ball. Go on to lose the rest of the games against the Reds. Got swept by the Astros. Come back to Fenway. They win in the home opener, and then they dropped the last 2 games of the series. I think they had at one point a 4-run lead this afternoon. Blew that. Yeah. Craig Breslow, he's probably going to be my dodo every single week this summer.
I feel that. And you're right. It's hard to put into words. I know you appreciate it, but like the spring training, like the late February, March into like Memorial Day weekend, that kind of like initial stretch of baseball is like you're just the most on fire for it. Not saying you don't watch games the whole season, but like that kind of like March to May, that's just when you're all in. Like,
oh yeah,
definitely all in before like the dog days of summer kind of come. And when your team, and it wasn't what last year before 2024, the Braves started 0-7. So
yes, I remember that we were in Poland together.
So look, I'm not dogging you or your Red Sox. Like it is the most frustrating thing, especially when you have this talent. And this is the problem, I'm getting into, and I know the Mad Hatters as well. Like, I just sit here and I'm like just dogging these guys' approaches at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the ability. I know they clearly have the ability, and I know this is really rich coming from the guy sitting on the couch making these comments to these people playing in the show. But I'm just like, what was your approach when you watched a 94-mile-per-hour sinker down the middle of the plate that you don't swing at, but then on a 2-1 count, we're swinging at a swerve in the other batter's box? What's your approach?
What are you looking for?
Yeah, and they're prima donnas. They wear all the stuff, and they got the armor. They wear more armor to the plate than I wear to the field. And it's probably slowing them down. It's just bad baseball. The Braves lost yesterday. Bryce Elder pitched a great game, but he had runners on, and a guy hit a really great bunt down the third base line and sped him up, and he threw an errant throw to first base. Where was Acuna? He wasn't backing up first base. So can't teach hustle.
Yeah.
You can teach approach, but that's just a lot of baseball IQ goes into that. And, raw talent typically gets these guys far, but baseball IQ keeps you in there longer than anything my opinion. He looked great.
Speaking of hustle in baseball IQ, your buddy Brendan Donovan, I hope he's all right. He got taken out of the game, I want to say Saturday night. He was going to stretch out, running out I think it was an infield single, and kind of like lunged and did something weird to his ankle / his heel on first base and left the game.
I haven't seen anything on that, so I might
So,
reach
Woody
out.
Lew Sports and You, Hope's friend of the program, Brendan Donovan, is all right.
Hope his physical therapy assistants are better than mine, which I would trust they
I can almost guarantee it is.
I think at 100% certainty they would.
I can almost guarantee that it is.
Yes. So.
Well, Braxton, on that note, I think it's a good time to wrap up tonight's show. Any final thoughts?
No, I had a great show. I had a great Easter, Dan, with the family. Gigi,
great pictures. I saw the pictures. Beautiful family. Beautiful Easter.
Oh, the best. You got anything to say, Gigi? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What a cutie. Well, Braxton, happy Easter. Thank you. And thank you to Woody Lew Sports and You, our award-winning listeners. Don't forget to download, like, subscribe, comment, share. Bye, Gigi. Everyone, have a great